Good evening and welcome to the matchup between UNAM Phoenix and Sporting Club de Luanda in the FIBA Women's Basketball League Africa 2025. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Live from the Deutsche greetings and welcome, and sorry for a little bit of a delay on getting things up and going. We're just moments away from tip-off between UNAM Phoenix and Sporting Club de Luanda from the FIBA Women's Basketball League Africa 2025. Tonight, in just a few moments, we'll be bringing you live action from the German high school here in Windhoek, and get things underway in just a short moment. As we just get ready to get underway for this moment, there is no sound coming from the venue. You will only have the commentary once we get underway, and hopefully that situation will be resolved as quickly as possible, hopefully sometime before tip-off. But rest assured, we've got a good picture coming, and we just need to get the audio feed sorted out. But for now, why sit back and relax, and we'll start things up in just a few short moments. So good evening from Windhoek, and welcome to the FIBA Women's Basketball League Africa qualifiers. It's UNAM Phoenix of Namibia taking on Sporting Club de Luanda of Angola here at the DHPS indoor court at the German high school in Windhoek. For Phoenix, this is more than just a game. This is a chance to show that Namibians women's basketball can compete on the continental stage. They'll look to feed off the pace, the energy of the home crowd here in Windhoek. Sporting Luanda come in with pedigree, experience, and physical presence in the paint. Their goal tonight is simple: control the tempo, execute in the half court, and show why Angolan basketball remains one of the strongest in Africa. Pace versus structure, energy versus discipline. This one could get fun, and we're just about ready to tip it off. So UNAM will be playing in the green uniforms tonight, and the guests from Angola will be playing in white with green trim, so plenty of green on hand but there is a lot of experience on both sides. But once again, just going back to the pedigree of Sporting, the favorites would probably have to be considered the team from Angola, as they bring a little bit more size and experience to the match tonight, but never count out the home field advantage. And of course, not having to travel and having a few more fans on hand to back them up, why we expect Phoenix to give them a run for their money. And we are off and running in the first bucket, and a good one on a lay-in from the left-hand side as Sporting gets out to a 2-0 lead. Rebound underneath, in and out, and cleared by Sporting. Heavy contact, as Ngungwi was not going to be denied any room to the basket. Boy, a lot of fast breaking going on here from the early going. These gals are off and running tonight. Another bucket off the layup. And the visitors take a 4-0 lead. Pressing defense. I'm almost tied up in the backcourt, but managed to bring it over the timeline. Now Linda dishes the ball off. And a three-point basket. Makes it a 7-2 game so far in the early going. Linda once again trying to get the ball up into the forecourt. I think she was over and back. Sporting inbound. Dongui. And a foul. Pressing defense. Gets called out for a foul. Lovely drive with no payoff at the end. Coming up empty. And Sporting slow the tempo down just a slight bit. Coming in from the wing. And a dish mishandled by the center. That's Ngungwi. And on the other end, Linda finishing off this time in fine fashion. Cuts the deficit to 3 points. 7-4 now for the visitors. Shot was no good from Dongwa. And Ngungwe with the follow, and she is fouled in the act of shooting and will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. And it is sort of Vida Chance rather than Ngongwe to shoot the free throws. Action moving so fast, tough to pick it up at times. Now misses both ends of a two-shot trip to the charity stripe. Pass intercepted at half court. Yeah, not quite the result that Musol had hoped for, but she is fouled in the act of shooting, and she will try her luck from the free throw line. The first of two. So 9-4 is the score as I have it, and that is an unofficial score at best. We're getting no score bug on the floor, and there's no live stats available that I know of. So doing the best I can, but if the picture blinks out in the middle of a foul free throw, I'm going to just have to guess if it went through by player reaction. Well, floored and slash fouled in the act of shooting is Ashley Linda. And she will take up position 15 away from the backboard and try her luck from the charity stripe. Linda misses both of her free throws, and indeed the ball had gone out of bounds, so it'll be out of bounds. It'd be inbounded from the side. Second thoughts about a three-pointer, and a ball put up from the side bounces off the backboard. Blocking foul called against UNAM Phoenix. Yeah, that will send Cunha to the line. Ten to 4 is the way I have the score sheet. If anyone in the chat begs to differ, speak up now or forever hold your peace. Layup missed by UNAM. And Sporting are not taking their foot off the gas pedal whatsoever. High tempo offense and a three-pointer. Dropped down by Nelma Cunha. A little bit of a desperation shot tossed up by Phoenix. From beyond the arc, and ooh, that's hurting early. The accuracy of the three-pointers making a big difference in the ball game now for Sporting. $16 to 4 is the way my score sheet reads in favor of Sporting Clube de Luanda. Timeout on the floor. Now, so far, Sporting are doing exactly what they came here to do, and that's transition quickly and get themselves out to a lead. As Angela Cardosa, head coach of Sporting Clube de Luanda, takes her charges through what's transpired. And on the other side, Linda Malusi will try to pep up her outfit. Phoenix needing some buckets to get themselves back on pace with the visitors from Uganda. So Sporting ball out of the timeout. Wonderful handle at half court. Rebound And nobody back there to help with the press. Uchazuba got herself into trouble, surrounded by no less than 3 defenders. And there really wasn't any option for her. So turnover, and those will turn out to be costly as well. If UNAM is unable to break the Sporting press, another shot from three-point land, in and out, and the follow off the offensive rebound is good for Chance. Turnover, and a quick bucket once again from Cunha. 20-4 now the count in favor of the Ugandan side. Might have been a time to drive to the hoop herself, as Esther Angula being selfless, but probably had the best opportunity off the fast break. As we get another quick look on the transition up the floor. Back to live game action. Ball out of bounds. Linda couldn't come up with the handle. Drive to the bucket. Dish off at the last minute to Manjenje. And that's good for yet another 2-pointer for Sporting. Good strong drive to the iron by Caetano. Another errant pass and a turnover. UNAM really need to settle down and get rid of the early game jitters, or they could be run off the court here by halftime. 3-pointer, put up, comes up short for Caetano. Still relentless forecourt pressure. Ball swatted away by Conceição Caetano. And the Phoenix break the pressure and are unable to convert in a one-on-one situation at the opposite end. Manjenje coming up short, rebound. Another miss. Third chance now for Sporting. 3-pointer is no good. And UNAM finally get their hands on the ball. Unable to clear it out, though. Fossey to inbound. Linda brings the ball all the way up court, dishes off, and turnover is short-lived, and UNAM will get a second chance and can't capitalize. So a little bit of a turnover as Manjenje was out of bounds on the play. Linda to inbound for the Phoenix. And a travel called against Imena. Imena is called for walking. (22-4). Big lead for Sporting. Shot no good. Sporting showing just how physical a ball club that they are. That's no surprise to the initiated. And by and large, the arbitrage very willing to allow a physical style of play. And a turnover off the press yields yet another field goal for Luanda, this time from Donge. Adriano brings the ball forward. Layup no good. Phoenix absolutely not giving up. Quick transition, but once again a mishandle at the far end. And just unable to get a good shot off here in the first half of play, first quarter of play. Well, that'll bring a little stride into the step for the Phoenix as they can a three-pointer to get the score sheet lit back up for the first time in the lion's share of the first quarter. Drive the hoop, coming up empty. Rebound to Phoenix. No foul called. And yet another three-pointer. So 22-10, just like that, as UNAM Phoenix chipping away at that deficit a little bit. Here's a three-point attempt for Sporting. Namibian team coming up empty. And the Ugandans on the move, spin. A miss and a rebound and a foul. As Majenje will be whistled for the foul off the rebound. Look at that lovely spin, which Katana was unable to capitalize on. As Alinga Sama inbounds. Holding foul. Well, there's the score bug. I wasn't off by much, but I missed apparently two scores. 24-11 is the count coming from the venue, and we will certainly defer to that as the score bug and the timing come up. Now, if we could just get some noise, some audio from the venue, we'd be cooking with gas. Three-point attempt offline for Sporting. And UNAM Phoenix drain the basket for a three-pointer. Good save for Sporting. And a timeout called. A little bit of a rally underway as the deficit has been brought back to 9 points, and Phoenix showing that they can settle down, and especially a couple of three-pointers early and a couple of foul shots, and all of a sudden starting to look a lot more competitive for the Namibians. So out of a spirited timeout conversation from the Phoenix bench, Sporting still in conclave. 1:35 left to go in the first. Turnaround jumper is blocked, but a foul is called on Conceição Quetano. And that will send Lustel Langosama to the line to shoot a couple. First one is good to make it an 8-point ball game. And the second one rattles around and falls as well. There's solid work at the line by Sama. And a travel against Sporting will be an unforced error. And a chance for Phoenix to whittle away at that deficit a little more. Sama, lovely drive to the iron. Lustel Langosama. Once again, that physical brand of basketball. Rebound up and in. And Cunha helps pad the lead for Sporting. Traveling violation called against Scholastica Joel. Seems as though they got Magda Musol called for a foul against Sporting, and now in the bonus. That will send Phoenix to the free throw line. Celeste Kakuva with the second. Shoots 50% on that trip as we are in the final seconds of the first period. Thirteen and a half. And a demonstrative protest being lodged by Angela Cardosa. Speedy guard able to bring the ball up against the opposition. Another three-pointer. And what a way to close out the first period. Oh my goodness. 26-23. And Phoenix have truly risen from the ashes. Lovely three-point drained by Victoria Netumbo. Now that is an emphatic way to finish off the first period of play, as Phoenix have clawed their way right back into the game. Well, Angela Cardosa knows as well as her team that they have the more experienced and probably better basketballing side, but never count out a side that can drain three-pointers like that. We'll take a little break and be right back with game action. Welcome back as we get things started here in the second period. And Sporting opened things up with a three-pointer for good measure. Nelma Cunha gets things started in the second period for Sporting. Turnaround, no good. Second chancer. And Phoenix unable to get the handle on the ball. Try to move down to the basket from the high post was Chance. Linda kicks out to Mena. And Phoenix come up empty on that possession. Sporting trying another three-pointer, and they drain it. And they've opened up the second period with two straight three-pointers. And they've got that margin back out to 9 points just like that. 32-23 the count. One of the things we have to keep in mind as we watch the speed, the team speed of Phoenix at times, but keep an eye on the visitors from Uganda. Windhoek is at altitude. We're about 1,000 and some up, and that may start to take its toll at some point. Till now, they've been able to run the floor with the Phoenix, and there's a wonderful swat by Ngungwi to deny Phoenix the easy bucket. Cross-court pass, and with a little bit of rolls, Phoenix finally eke out their first field goal of the second period. And a lovely drive at a basket, an opportunity for a three-point play for Nelma Cunha. Or I believe what transpired was she was actually called for traveling on the way to the bucket. There's another foul in the act of shooting is called against the Phoenix, and that will send Giovanna Donga to the free throw line. Try to extend the 7-point lead for Sporting Club de Luanda. Sporting back at the full court press. The double team yields the turnover and not the immediate bucket. Second chance here won't fall. And now a chance for a fast break, and got a little bit ahead of herself. Did Ashley Linda. Linda was fouled, trying to break away. Nelma Cunha wanted to hold her up. And that will be called an intentional foul. And will send Ashley Linda to the line to shoot two. Linda does good work at the free throw line. And of course, the opportunity is enhanced by the fact that off the intentional foul, why Phoenix will have possession yet once again. Working against her defender is Sama, unable to come up with anything. Drives the bucket for Nelma Cunha, and she is fouled underway. First of two is no good. Eight-point lead now for the visitors. And there is that daunting full court pressure from Sporting Club de Luanda. And a big bucket off the turnover. Phoenix undaunted. Transition the ball quickly. Steal and a lovely opportunity taken advantage of by Lustel Elenga Sanama. Drive to the basket, block shot. Sama whips the ball up court to Linda, and Linda says, yeah, you had the right idea. I'm just not that fast. The speedy guard couldn't run down the ball. As Mussol looks for a little bit of help getting the ball up to the timeline. Cross-court three-pointer is short of the target, but following up and getting her own rebound, the turnaround is off the glass. Second chance, no good. And Sporting will get yet another crack at it. Well, this will be attempt number 4 on this offensive possession. Tries 6 and 7. Also unsuccessful. Well, a very difficult offensive possession for Sporting as they come up empty-handed. You see the frustration on Angela Cardosa. She's going to put a substitute in the ball game, which we will get right here on this out of bounds. Linda awaiting to put the ball back into play. Pressure half-hearted this time. Full court pass is tipped out of bounds. Gongui back there on defense. And Mustel Sama inbounds the ball. Kakuva just a little bit out of balance. Kakuva from the high post. Three-pointer is not on target. And a lovely drive to the bucket. Strong finish from Magda Musol. Oh, a theft, a turnover, and a bucket for Kitano. And a timeout called as Phoenix, or in any case, the Phoenix coaching staff have seen enough. Conceição Caetano with the steal and the basket. And it is not the end of the second quarter, and the Bravehearts play tomorrow. Saw the Bravehearts pop up in the scorebug before the game. It is not the Bravehearts in the white uniforms. Those are no less than Sporting Club de Luanda from Angola. As Linda finally gets the handle on the basketball, errant throw, turnover. This time a little bit more patient as Sporting will set up their offense and try a three-pointer off the glass, and good. And the scoring onslaught continues for the visitors out of the timeout. Got themselves back out to a 15-point lead. It was all the way down to 3 at quarter time. Phoenix will try to cut the deficit quickly through three-pointers. Come up empty. Well, 2 will help for certain as Fina Nawapo gets herself on the score sheet. Three-point attempt on the top of the backboard will be considered out of bounds, and it will be Phoenix ball. Celeste Kakuva with an errant throw, unforced error. And Conceição Caetano will have to earn her points from 15 feet away from the backboard, as she will take up position just behind the free throw line to shoot a couple. So shooting 2 with a score at 44-31, now 45-31. with 4:08 remaining in the first half of play. Ashley Linda masterfully getting the ball up court. Got the ball down in the low post, and it was a little bit of a hot potato situation for Hamunaila, who could not get the control of the basketball down at the baseline. He had another turnover. They've proved to be very costly here in the first half of play for Phoenix, something that they're really going to have to clamp down on if they want to stay competitive into the second half of play. Three-pointer put up by Sporting. Offline, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be possession for the team in green, the home side. As Phoenix inbound the ball onto this beautiful court at the German school in Windhoek. Quick basket off the turnover, capitalized on by Teresa Andriano. And yet another air turnover, and there is the check presented. 50-31. Linda bounce pass into the high post. Three-pointer no good. Strong rebound from the Phoenix. Not as a lot of second chances for the Phoenix. Sporting really controlling the glass at both ends of the court, both offensively and defensively. Getting second, third, and fourth chances. Something that the Phoenix have not been able to avail themselves of. $19-point lead now for the Ugandans. Drive to the bucket, and it's stuffed underneath. As Shansa has her shot blocked. And Netumbo dishes off to Lemene for a three-pointer, unable to connect. .208 remaining. And a score line of 50-31 in favor of Sporting Club de Luanda. Phoenix will have the opportunity to shoot a couple of foul free throws. Mwapo heading to the line. Three-point attempt is no good. Pressure yields yet another turnover. Big block by Angola. And a whistle and a foul, and apparently an offensive foul called against Sporting. Jimena drives the length of the court and is fouled at the far end. And with a minute and a half remaining, Jimena will shoot a couple. Does good business from the charity stripe. Deficit is now 15 points for the Namibian side. Pass down in low post is swatted out of bounds. And we will get a timeout. So neither team wants to squander the last minute and 14, so time to revise strategy as Angela Cardosa will talk with her charges. Apologies once again for the lack of audio from the venue. So Sporting to inbound. Looking to see if they can extend that lead before the break. And getting a little bit sloppy on the inbounds was Sporting stepping on the line, and that was picked up by the referee. So we get a long pass down court and another unforced error for Phoenix. Two-pointer from short range is good for Sporting. 52-35, and it could be 54-35 before we head for the locker rooms. And that is exactly what Giovanna Donga manages to do. And plenty of time to continue the scoring onslaught out of the timeout. And Sporting is officially on fire going into halftime. Sandra Gomez with another bucket for the Angolan side. Three-pointer, offline, Own rebound, second chance, also no good. Well, missed opportunity to close things out, but Sporting came out of the timeout just absolutely on fire. And we'll go into the break with a score of 56-35 up on the scoreboard here from the German school in Windhoek. And we hope you've enjoyed the first half. Much as was expected, the Angolan side, the better basketball team, and it certainly showed through the first half. Phoenix will have to really cut down the turnovers in the second half of play. And will have to certainly get themselves more active on the score sheet if they can mount some sort of rally in the second half and tighten this thing up a little bit. We'll be back in 10 minutes to resume activities. You're watching from Windhoek in Namibia, the FIBA Women's Basketball League Africa 2025 qualifiers. Welcome back for the second half of the matchup between Welcome back to the second half in play, and well, we get right back to the rough and tumble style of basketball we saw in the first half. Lots of smiles and helping each other up off the floor. So the physical style of play is just something the ladies are used to working with. And as we wait for the correct score bug to come up, 56-35 is the correct score for the moment. But the Bravehearts will not play until tomorrow. Nice fast break from Linda. She tried to be unselfish, and Fossey couldn't come up with a handle. So another turnover from UNAM Phoenix, and that's kind of the tale of the first half and where things went so awry for Phoenix, who had actually closed the score to a 3-point deficit at the quarter break, and then Sporting really exerting a bit of superiority in the second quarter to get themselves out to a 21-point lead. And another tumble on the hardwoods. Neither one of these teams want to leave anything out on the floor. We certainly don't want to see anyone lose a tooth over it. Nelma Cunha. Cross court for the three-pointer, just a little bit offline. Ball into low post, turnaround hook shot, and it is good from Sandra Gomez. Lovely hook to get things started, and yeah, more of the rough housing, and need to be careful. The first time this happened, it was all in a day's work, and everyone departed the tussle with smiles on their faces. And I think we're getting a little talking to from the arbitrage now to settle things down a bit. Which is probably not a bad idea at all. Yeah, there is the corrected score on display. Officials having a little bit of a conference to sort things out from that last series of events. And in fact, possession will be for UNAM Phoenix. Phoenix in green, working from left to right here in the second period, and another errant throw and another unforced error. So far, not so good for the Phoenix, as the same kinds of problems that plagued them in the first half are showing up here in the second. Sporting, quick transition, drive down in, ball kicked back out to the perimeter, and another drive to the iron. Very fearless is Giovanna Donga. But the Sporting Club turned the ball over, and now Phoenix will have to contend with that contentious full court press of Sporting Club. And once again, the press yielding dividends for the visitors. The Angolans were absolutely unrelentless in the first half. That's one way to beat the pressure, but the pass is just a little bit too rich. Fina Nwapo unable to track it down. Stripped to the ball and relieved of possession, and Sporting bringing the ball back up the floor. Three-pointer from the perimeter, no good. Phoenix still awaiting their first points of the second half. Linda gets herself into trouble and is too often the case, relinquishes possession. Another turnover for Sporting, and a good block shot from Musol. Stuffing out Natumbo. Possibly could have been a jump ball. As it turns out, it's a quick series of turnovers. Phoenix with an opportunity to get themselves back on the scoreboard for the first time this half. There's a three-pointer that's offline. Rebound Gomez. Coast to coast, and a nice round off from Musol. That's a replay from the opening of the third quarter rather. Don't necessarily need to see the complete recap, but would like to see that last play. And we have some audio. Well, that changes things considerably. Been looking forward to hearing the home crowd. You know, that's a marked improvement on the broadcast. Thank you, Windhoek. Sandra Gomez backing up as Conceição Quitano waits to inbound the ball for Sporting. Up and across the timeline, Chance. Ball flipped errantly, trying to get work the ball out to the perimeter, and ends up going out of bounds. So a turnover and opportunity for the Phoenix. They need that. Turnaround jumper, no good. Sporting on the move. Quick transition and a lay up and in for Magda Musol. Celeste Kakuva hampered on her way to the basket. (62-35), a 27-point lead in the meantime for Sporting Club Luanda. And 35 is the amount of points that the Phoenix cobbled together in the first half. They have not scored in the second half of play. An opportunity to change that. Estelle Alenga-Sama unable to make anything out of the fast break. Tip recovered well by Sporting. Flipped out to the perimeter and a three-pointer for Catano. Steal and a layup and in for Musol, and a timeout, and badly needed at that. Sporting are off to the races here in the third quarter. Phoenix as if they had not departed the locker room as of yet. So out of the timeout, Phoenix, three-point attempt off the side of the backboard, out of bounds. Three-pointer for Sporting, no good. Pressure being applied even still by the Angolan side. And an intentional foul called. That will send Conceição Caetano to the line. Second one is through the basket and will also be possession to Sporting. Driving lane, pulling up, but coming up empty is Cunha. Another steal, another quick shot for Sporting. Rebound, putback is no good. Cunha takes it back out to the arch. Dishes, and working the ball all the way around the perimeter for another three-point shot, no good. And Phoenix try to get something quickly and throw the ball away. Musol inbounds to Catano and then brings the ball up over the timeline. Less than 4.5 minutes to go in the third, and it has been all Sporting Club, and it remains all Sporting Club. Although they miss on two separate attempts, Phoenix still looking for their first points of the second half. It's been a very dominant out of the gate performance by the team from Angola. Sporting moving quickly, no foul called. I had the same question that Catano had. Phoenix unable to convert. Pulling up for a three-pointer. The rebound is up and no good. And another offensive rebound for the Sporting Club. And a bucket from the perimeter. And the dominance is just on display at this point. 71-35. Phoenix still scoreless in the second half. And will remain so for the time being. Steal and a transition. And fouled in the act of shooting is Magda Musol. And she will head to the foul line to shoot a couple of them. First free throw attempt is good. Musol enjoying herself, as well she should. Her team in command of the ball game. Offensive rebound and a putbacker, and it's a three-point trip in total for Sporting. Ambitious pass is thrown out of bounds. Catano cannot run it down. Another block shot as Manjenje says, Just a swarming defense for Sporting, just yielding turnover after turnover, and in and out. And yet again, pilfer and profit is the name of the game right now for the team from Angola. Gungui, the latest basket maker for Sporting. Don't know what Coach Angela Cardoso said at halftime, but it was really effective as the Sporting Club came out of the gate and have smothered the Phoenix here in the second half of play. 2:02 remaining, 76-35 the scoreline from Windhoek. Phoenix still scoreless in the second half. The old saying is, when it rains, it pours, and it has just been a torrential downpour here in the second half. Just a dominating effort by the Angolans. Three-point shot, offline, offensive rebound as per usual. And third time, not lucky, but opportunistic, as Antonia Ngungwe will head to the charity stripe to attempt 2 free throws. Ngungwe with the first of 2, cannot get it to fall. Blocking foul called And a slight reprieve for Imena. As Phoenix have had a great deal of difficulty transiting the ball off of a rebound. So the foul gives them a chance to run a bit of a set piece as Imena is almost tackled at the top of the key. Oh, that's going to lift the spirits here in the German school. Esther Angula said, enough of that. I am not giving you the basket just like that, Miss Catano. You're going to have to earn it from the free throw line. Catano misses the first of two. (73-35). Long bomb from downtown, Netumbo. Now that brings the Windhoek crowd into it. And boy, they need all the support they can get at the moment, does Phoenix. Another three-point attempt, just short of the mark. And another bucket. And apologies for the last score that I gave through was actually 79, now 81-38 in favor of Sporting. And Phoenix really have to take the air out of the ball, become much more deliberate and try to control the tempo of the game, because running with this team from Angola will not serve you well. At the free throw line, Ida Angolo. Angolo's second attempt is no good. And I believe we have a lane violation, which will allow Angola to attempt another free throw with 23 and change left to go here in the third quarter of play. Catano brings the ball up the floor herself, defers to Antonio, who misses the three-pointer. Mena loses control over the ball, and time has expired in the third period. It has been a third period which has been all Sporting Club Luanda. Home side UNAM Phoenix could only muster one three-point shot in the third period of play, and the score 81-38 as we take a break, and we'll rejoin in a minute or so for the fourth and final period.
Our top is on top. The other two guys are here. The men is down there watching them like this. That's not what they say.
Well, the fourth and final quarter. And the Phoenix find themselves on the short end of a major deficit. Sporting just absolutely dominating the third quarter of play. And waiting to inbound the basketball. Catano. Big part of that third quarter outburst for Sporting. Three-pointer from Antonio, off the mark. Antonio making it her mission to get possession back for the team in white. Good trip to the iron, but coming up empty is Ashley Linda. Phoenix remain in possession. Three-pointer, tossed up and made by Victoria Natumbo. With a name that was made for making three-pointers, Natumbo opens up the scoring in the fourth quarter and a promising side for the Phoenix. Fossi. Natumbo from long downtown. Catano driving to the rim and rounding it off nicely. And Sporting get their first 2 points of the fourth quarter. Steal going to ground was Ngungwa. Driving to the basket and being fouled is Ivanilda Majenje. Well, there was certainly nothing wrong with Ngungwi going to ground as long as she doesn't try to get back up. She won't be called for the traveling violation. And now Sporting still try to get some points out of this offensive possession. They get the first one thanks to Majenje's first free throw. Wonder if that's a little bit of blood on her uniform. I've told you it's a physical ball game out there. Antonio secures the ball once again for Sporting. Drive to the iron and big drive and fouled in the act. And Ivone Antonio try to make this a three-point trip to the rim. She was not going to be denied. Going to get another try off the lane violation. This time Antonio's free throw falls. You know, sometimes you can be just a little too unselfish, as Humanaila was unable to handle the hot potato. Three-pointer is no good. Rebound Natumbo, and she is immediately circled by three defenders, and the closest help is about 4 meters away, if not more. And Sporting show no intention of taking off the forecourt pressure. Double dribble violation against the Phoenix, and they'll turn the ball over yet once again. 88-41 the score here from Windhoek. Kipaka to inbound. Haven't seen her in the ball game up till now. Teresa Adriano. Adriano loses the handle, is relieved of possession, and Imene dishes off to Natumbo, who tries another three-pointer, and why not? If you're going to make a game of it, you'd need to make many in succession, as Antonio is floored, and she's absolutely fearless in drive to the rim with no regard to her personal safety. Ball worked around the perimeter to the top of the free throw line. Sporting come up empty. That can also happen once in a while. Ashley Linda running the point. Defers to Amena. Amena driving to the rim and unable to convert. Sporting looking for a three-pointer out of Antonio. Won't get it. Also mishandle on the offensive rebound from Ngungwi. And we'll take the walk back and set up defensive position. Been a tough second half for the Phoenix. They'll look to try to regain a little bit of form. Sporting, on the other hand, may want to leave something in the tank. They play tomorrow. It'll be a rest day for the Namibian side, as the Angolans will face the team from Malawi, the Bravehearts Basketball Club. 4 o'clock local time tip-off here in Windhoek. And we will do it one more time in this weekend tournament, tipping off at 4 o'clock on Sunday, when Bravehearts will face the home side UNAM Phoenix. Well, it's been a minute since Sporting got themselves a basket. Still a commanding lead, to say the very least. As Teresa Adriano is at the free throw line to attempt a couple of charity tosses. Second one off the glass is good. And the between bracket scoring drought for Sporting ends. They lead now 90-41. Remember at the first quarter break, Phoenix was only down by 3. They brought it back to a 3-point deficit. Sporting got out of the gate very quickly and surpassed a fairly substantial lead until Phoenix could bring it back. But since that juncture, it has been all Sporting Club Luanda. Mene directing traffic. Linda working against Antonio. Shakes one defender, goes down to low post and sees a lot of big trees around her, and Sporting is not willing to relent anything. And Mene makes a little opportunity for herself, cannot get it to go. Physical brand of basketball being played to 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter in a game which is fairly lopsided at this point, but neither team willing to coast. And to their credit, Phoenix still in there fighting for what they're worth. This proud side trying to establish something in this tournament. As Alinga-sama comes up empty on a three-pointer. Adriano. Bit of a prayer thrown up. Here's an opportunity for Linda on the fast break, but there is the defender, Adriano, running step for step with her. The work rate from Sporting is incredible, to say the least. Three-pointer from Antonio is nothing but net. As Sporting would seem unsatisfied without hitting the century mark. Mistel Elanga-sama. Antonio evades Linda, but can't get the layup to go. Fossey in a fast transition loses the handle at the most inopportune of moments, and a timeout has been called. Good look at the crowd. Here's the gang downstairs. Also some people up in the upper deck here at the German school in Windhoek. And credit for sticking around and supporting the Phoenix to the bitter end. And the ladies do deserve it, as they have fought throughout all the quarters, just not as successful putting points up on the board. That was an exception, and that was Victoria Netumbo with a scarce three-pointer.
3 minutes, 41 seconds.
(93-41) with 3:41 yet to go here in the game. Vaughn Antonio has really been one of the star performers for that Sporting side here in the second half of play. Gungui backs off, ball works to the other side, and a short shot completed as Sporting marched their way to the 100-point mark. 95 now to show for their efforts tonight. Errant attempt for UNAM. Three-point for the wing attempted by Manjenje. UNAM coaching staff still very animated, still very present in the game. Ashley Linda, Imena. Penetration and a running one-hander will not go, but an opportunity for Deandra Fossi to head to the free throw line to attempt a couple. Under 3 minutes left to play. UNAM part of that, representing the University of Namibia. And it's really become sort of the primary talent incubator for Namibian women's basketball. But they've come across a team tonight with a deep basketball tradition, and Angolan basketball really one of the outposts of the game in the continent. Still making life difficult for the Phoenix. Gungui, very present on defense for Sporting. Ashley Linda. Gonna need to have a timeout as there's an injury. Did not see exactly what happened in the tie-up. Maybe a little bit of non-contact strife. We won't speculate. We'll just wait and hope things turn out okay here. Medical staff attending. Timeout in the action, and Sporting will head to the bench while we have a medical timeout on the floor. 95-44 the score with 2.5 minutes remaining. Injured player off the floor, and we can restart the action. Foul called. Free throw attempt good for Anguilla. Mr. Anguilla shooting 2. Two for 2 goes Esther Anguilla. Antonio bringing the ball up the floor, pulls up for the short shot. Can't get it to go. Fast transition, but no joy for Celeste Kakuva at the opposite side of the court. Phoenix remain in possession. Turnaround jumper, can't get it to go off the bank. Rebound cleared by Ngungwe. Antonio works it into the post. Trying to turn around is Majenje, and she is fouled in the act. Ivanilda Majenje. This is the first of a 2-shot trip to the foul line. Second one is through the rim. Sporting getting ever closer to the 100-point mark with 141. Still a very realistic goal for the visitors from Angola. Cross-court pass, ill-advised. Sporting makes it their own. Antonio sets up for a three-pointer, misses this time. Tries to get the ball back, but commits a foul in doing so. She fouls Esther Anguilla. Try to make even more things happen. Ivana Antonio. Anguilla unable to convert the first of her free throws. Second one is good. UNAM may crack the 50-point mark before it's all said and done. So a violation and a turnover, and Sporting will control. Phoenix working a full court press, but the team from Angola has very little trouble breaking through it. Antonio gets the ball down in the low post for Gomez. Gomez was called for backing in, and to my opinion, a very good call by the officials. Kakuva. And that will leave a good taste behind for the Phoenix, as they do crack the half-century mark with less than a minute remaining on a good-looking three-pointer. Couldn't get that one to go. And Sporting have 35 seconds remaining. Antonio. There's Gomez, unhindered underneath, and she lays it up and in, and they are two removed from hitting the century. 23 seconds remaining. Turnover, and here's that opportunity to put 100 up on the scoreboard. Antonio dishes to Majenje, and she cannot get it to go. 5 seconds remaining. And also a lovely way to finish things out, if that should indeed be the last shot of the ball game, and it will be. And 98-52 will be the final score. So despite an overall drubbing, UNAM manages to get a couple of positive offensive possessions at the end of the game to take a little bit of momentum through into their rest day. For Sporting, a summary victory and a lot of great performances. It was a team victory for sure. Yeah, they will take a lot of momentum into the game tomorrow against Bravehearts. That game will tip off at 6 o'clock local time
Tomorrow, 7 p.m.
as we return to the German school here in Windhoek for day number 2 of this qualifying tournament. You've been watching the FIBA
p.m., all right? Don't be late.
Women's Basketball League Africa 2020-25 qualifiers.
Also 6 p.m. Tomorrow it will be Malawi against Angola, or Malawi against Sporting tomorrow. On Sunday, Namibia will play Malawi. So we need your support, guys. Thank you, Phoenix.
And I certainly can't add to those words. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you to Sporting. And thank you to the several hundred viewers who stopped by and got involved on the broadcast. And we thank you for watching the FIBA YouTube channel. From Windhoek, the German school, the final score, Sporting 98, UNAM Phoenix 52. Thanks until the next time. Bye-bye.
Please find out about the VIP ticket. To get a seat tomorrow.